The Four Rules of Financial Freedom, written and published by Mindset Masters Audiobooks. The Hidden Code of Wealth. Everyone wants financial freedom, that sacred place where money works for you, not the other way around. Yet most people spend their entire lives chasing paychecks, surviving debt cycles, and mistaking consumer comfort for true wealth. The reason? They never learned the rules. Money is a game, and like any game, if you don't know the rules, you'll keep losing, even if you work hard. Financial freedom isn't about luck, talent, or even income. It's about understanding the principles that govern wealth and mastering the discipline to live by them. In this audiobook, we'll uncover the 4 rules of financial freedom, timeless, practical, and brutally honest truths that separate those who struggle from those who build lasting independence. Once you understand these rules, you'll start seeing money differently. You'll stop working for money and start making money work for you. Let's begin. No matter your income level, if your expenses grow alongside your earnings, you'll never escape the trap. Living below your means isn't about deprivation, it's about leverage. When you control your spending, you gain the one resource the wealthy guard most: cash flow. Cash flow is the oxygen of freedom. It allows you to invest, seize opportunities, and weather financial storms. To master this rule, avoid lifestyle inflation, the silent destroyer of progress. Financial freedom begins with restraint, not riches. Learn to say no to the temporary so you can say yes to the extraordinary. The poor trade time for money. The rich trade money for time. This shift happens the moment you understand the power of assets, things that earn you income without your direct labor. Your goal should be to build a portfolio that grows while you sleep. Stocks, real estate, index funds, online businesses, intellectual property, these are wealth engines. Every dollar you invest is an employee working around the clock to buy your freedom. Start small, but start now. Consistency compounds faster than you imagine. The investor who begins with discipline always outpaces the dreamer who waits for the perfect opportunity. Wealth doesn't come from earning more. It comes from deploying your money intelligently, so it multiplies without you. Rule 3: protect what you build. Financial freedom is not just about accumulation, it's also about protection. Many people reach a level of success only to lose it through bad decisions, poor planning, or emotional investing. Rule 3 teaches you to play defense as well as offense. Here's how the wealthy protect their empires. They diversify. No single investment can destroy them. They insure strategically health, property, and income. They build emergency funds to handle life's unpredictability. They avoid emotional financial decisions, especially during crises. Remember, keeping wealth is a skill that demands humility. The goal is not to show off, but to stay secure. True freedom is peace of mind, knowing that no matter what happens, your foundation stands firm. Rule 4: define what enough means to you. The final rule is the one few talk about, and yet it's the one that gives you real freedom. Most people chase wealth endlessly because they've never defined what enough means. They keep moving the goalpost: more money, a bigger house, another car, and end up imprisoned by their own ambition. Financial freedom isn't about having everything, it's about needing less than you have. It's about clarity. It's about alignment, where your money supports your values, not your ego. Ask yourself, what kind of life do I truly want to live? How much money would I need monthly to fund it comfortably? What unnecessary pursuits can I let go of to gain more peace and time? When you define your enough, you stop competing and start living. You realize freedom isn't a finish line, it's a daily choice to live on your terms. The path forward. The 4 rules of financial freedom are not complex. They're simple, timeless, and effective, but they demand consistency, not perfection. Follow these rules, and you'll create a life of control, not chaos, independence, not insecurity. Financial freedom isn't reserved for the lucky few. It's built by those who play the game with strategy, patience, and discipline. Remember, the goal isn't to have more money, it's to have more life. The mindset behind financial freedom. Before we dive deeper into the strategies that build wealth, we need to address the most important foundation of all: your money mindset. Because no matter how smart your tactics are, they will collapse if your beliefs about money are broken. You don't attract financial freedom with luck. You create it with perspective. Every wealthy person you admire today once shifted how they thought about money before they ever changed how they made money. Let's be clear, if you believe money is scarce, hard to earn, or morally questionable, you'll unconsciously sabotage your own progress. You'll find ways to spend it, avoid it, or fear it. But if you start to see money as a tool for freedom, not identity, everything changes. Step 1. Reprogram how you view money. Money doesn't change who you are, it reveals who you are. It amplifies your habits, your fears, your priorities. That's why some people win the lottery and end up broke, while others start with little and quietly build fortune. To change your financial reality, start by redefining what money means to you. Ask yourself, what beliefs did I inherit about money from my parents or environment? Do I see money as something I control, or something that controls me? Am I chasing money for validation, or using it as a means to design my ideal life? The rich think in terms of value, not dollars. They ask, how can I create more value for others? Because money naturally flows to value. The poor, on the other hand, focus on cost, constantly asking, how much will this take from me? Instead of, what can this create for me? Your wealth grows the moment you switch from a scarcity mindset to a value mindset. Step 2. Break free from consumer conditioning. Modern society is designed to keep you financially dependent. The economy thrives on your discontent. You are constantly sold the idea that happiness is one purchase away, the latest phone, car, or luxury trip, and each purchase pushes you further into the system of dependency. To achieve financial freedom, you must wake up to this truth. Consumerism is the enemy of independence. Minimalism isn't about owning less. It's about being owned less. The fewer financial obligations you have, the freer you become. Here's a practical challenge. List every monthly expense and ask, does this genuinely improve my quality of life? Cut what doesn't. Use that freed up money to invest, not improve. Every dollar you keep from unnecessary spending is a soldier you can deploy toward your financial independence. Step 3. Learn the language of money. Money, like any discipline, has a language, and those who don't speak it will always depend on those who do. Terms like compound interest, assets, equity, inflation, cash flow, ROI, these aren't just technical words, they're the alphabet of wealth. The rich don't fear these terms because they've studied them. The average person avoids them and stays stuck. You can't win a game you don't understand. Dedicate time every week to learning the fundamentals, how investments work, how taxes affect income, how debt can either destroy or accelerate growth, how to read a financial statement or track net worth. Financial literacy isn't optional, it's liberation. Once you understand how money moves, you can make it move in your favor. Step 4. Build the identity of a wealth creator. Financial freedom is not just about what you do, it's about who you become. You must begin to think like an investor, not an employee, like an owner, not a consumer. Wealth creators share a few defining traits. Patience, they think in decades, not paychecks. Responsibility, they never blame the economy, politics, or others for their result. Vision, they use money to build leverage, not buy distractions. Your external world will always match your internal world. So if you want a freer life, start embodying the discipline, curiosity, and decisiveness of someone who already has one. You're not trying to get rich. You're trying to become the kind of person wealth is attracted to. Step 5. Redefine what success means to you. Society often defines success as having more income, more possessions, more recognition. But real financial freedom means the opposite, having enough, and the peace that comes with it. Start viewing success not as accumulation, but as control. Control of your time, your energy, your choices, and your direction. You are financially free the moment your life is not dictated by a paycheck. That moment doesn't require millions, It requires alignment. Ask yourself daily, does the way I use my money bring me closer to the life I want, or further away from it? Financial freedom isn't just an external transformation, it's an internal awakening. It's the realization that the power to change your financial life has been within your control all along. You don't need to earn more to be free. You need to think differently, act intentionally, and protect your focus from distraction. Once your mindset shifts, your reality follows. This is the unseen rule behind every success story, and it's where your journey to true financial freedom truly begins. Part 3. Control your spending. Master the art of conscious consumption. If you want to achieve financial freedom, you must first master one of the hardest disciplines in modern life: controlling your spending. Most people don't have a money problem. They have a spending problem. Money flows to those who know how to control it, and it escapes those who act without awareness. To be free financially, you must understand that wealth is not built by what you earn but by what you keep. Let's explore the third rule of financial freedom: control your spending, and how to develop the mindset of intentional wealth. The truth about spending: every purchase is a trade. You're not just giving away money, you're trading your time, your energy, and your freedom. When you spend impulsively, you're telling the world that short-term pleasure matters more than long-term peace. Financially free individuals understand that their spending habits define their destiny. They treat every dollar as an employee, not a toy. Each dollar has a job: to work, to grow, to serve a purpose. And until you begin to assign purpose to your money, you'll always feel like you don't have enough of it. Ask yourself, does this expense bring me closer to freedom or further away from it? That single question can transform your relationship with money forever. Emotional spending versus intelligent spending. Money management is rarely about math. It's about mindset and emotion. We spend emotionally and justify logically. You don't buy things because you need them. You buy them because they make you feel something: excitement, validation, control, comfort. To take control of your financial life, you must become aware of your emotional triggers. Here are some of the most common ones. Stress spending, buying to escape anxiety or frustration. Status spending, buying to impress or fit in. Impulse spending, buying without reflection or planning. Reward spending, buying as a treat for working hard. Recognize these patterns, not to feel guilty but to gain control. Financial freedom begins the moment you start questioning your impulses. It shows you where your money goes and whether that direction aligns with your goals. A conscious budget doesn't tell you not to spend. It tells you how to spend wisely. It gives every dollar direction. You're no longer reacting to your environment. You're intentionally creating your financial reality. Here's a simple system. Essentials, 50%. Rent, food, utilities, transportation. Investments, 20%. Savings, stocks, business growth. Enjoyment, 20%. Experiences that bring genuine joy. Growth, 10%. Courses, books and tools for personal development. The goal is not to follow this exact ratio, but to become aware of where your money flows. Once you track your spending, you'll realize how much of your wealth leaks through small unconscious decisions. It's being able to make choices based on desire, not desperation. Many people chase the appearance of wealth while sacrificing the experience of freedom. They buy liabilities to look rich instead of investing in assets to become rich. Real luxury is the ability to say no to trends, to debt, to anything that costs you your peace. Ask yourself, what do I truly need to feel abundant? Most of the time, the answer isn't more, it's less. The psychology of enough. To control your spending, you must define what enough means to you. Without that boundary, you'll always chase more. More clothes, more gadgets, more upgrades, yet feel less fulfilled. The secret is to find contentment within discipline. When you stop chasing status and start prioritizing security, your financial behavior naturally aligns with freedom. You no longer need to prove your worth through possessions. Your confidence comes from control. The financially free person doesn't avoid pleasure. They simply understand the difference between consumption and fulfillment. Fulfillment lasts, consumption fades. Smart spending habits for life. Here are a few simple yet powerful habits to keep your spending under control. Pause before purchase. Wait 24 hours before buying anything non-essential. Pay yourself first. Always save or invest before spending on extra. Automate discipline. Use systems that save and invest automatically. Value time over things. Spend money on what gives you time, not what steals it. Track progress monthly. Awareness brings control. Review your habits consistently. When your spending habits align with your vision, money becomes a tool for freedom, not stress. Conclusion. The third rule of financial freedom teaches us this: if you can control your spending, you can control your life. Financial peace doesn't come from earning more. It comes from managing what you already have with purpose. Every conscious decision builds your freedom. Every dollar you control expands your options, and every unnecessary expense you avoid brings you one step closer to your financial independence. The goal is not to live cheaply, but to live consciously, to ensure that every purchase supports the life you're building, not the illusion you're escaping. Part 4. Make money work for you. The secret to true financial freedom. The ultimate measure of financial intelligence is not how hard you work for money, but how effectively your money works for you. You will never achieve true financial freedom if you remain the only one generating your income. Freedom begins when your money starts earning money, when your wealth becomes your employee. This is the fourth and final rule of financial freedom. Make money work for you. This rule separates the financially independent from the financially trapped. It transforms your money from a tool of survival into a vehicle for freedom. The wealth equation. Most people spend their entire lives working for money. They trade time for income and call it a living. But there's a limit to how many hours you can work and how much energy you can give. The wealthy think differently. They know that money can work harder than any person ever could if it's given the right direction. Here's the equation they live by. The financial freedom are assets that earn, expenses that consume. It's not how much you make that matters. It's how much you keep and multiply. When your income from assets covers your expenses, you no longer depend on a paycheck. That's when your time truly becomes your own. The two paths to wealth. There are only two paths to financial independence, but if you stop there, you'll always be limited by time and effort. The second path, investing, is what multiplies your wealth. It's how you convert effort into lasting freedom. The goal isn't to earn endlessly, it's to create systems that keep earning even when you rest. Understanding assets versus liabilities. Before your money can work for you, you must understand where it's going. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. Most people confuse the two. They call a car or a house an asset because it feels valuable, but unless it produces income, it's a liability. It costs you money. Financially free people build assets first. They buy out real estate that generates rent, stocks that pay dividends, businesses that produce profit, intellectual property that earns royalties, digital assets that work while they sleep. They delay gratification to build income streams that multiply. They understand that money is only powerful when it flows, not when it's spent to look cool. The power of compound growth. The greatest force in finance isn't luck, it's compound growth. Albert Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world, and for good reason. When your money earns returns, and those returns begin earning returns, your wealth grows exponentially. Time becomes your greatest ally. For example, invest $1,000 every month at the same rate, and in 20 years it becomes over 7. It grows slowly at first, but in time it shades your entire life. Building multiple streams of income. Financial freedom doesn't come from one stream, it comes from several. A single source of income is dangerous, because life is unpredictable. To protect yourself and grow your wealth, diversify your income sources. Earned income, what you make from your job or business. Investment income, what you earn from assets like stocks, real estate, or bonds. Passive income, what comes from systems that run without your constant involvement. Online businesses, royalties, or dividends. Your goal should be to shift gradually from earned to passive income. When your assets produce more than your job, you'll never have to work for money again, unless you choose to. They focus not on buying comfort today, but on building freedom for tomorrow. Here's how they think. Every dollar has a job. Every investment has a purpose. Every decision must either grow money or protect it. This mindset separates dreamers from builders. Financial freedom isn't about luck, inheritance, or talent. It's about strategy, discipline, and time. Letting go of fear. Most people never invest because they're afraid. Afraid of losing money. Afraid of risk. Afraid of making mistakes. But fear doesn't protect you. It paralyzes you. The truth is, doing nothing is the biggest risk of all. Inflation, stagnation, and missed opportunities are invisible thieves. Every year you wait, your money loses value, and your dreams lose time. The key isn't to eliminate fear. It's to educate yourself enough to act despite it. Read, learn, ask. Start small, but start. The best investors aren't fearless. They're informed and disciplined. Creating a system that grows automatically. Wealth grows fastest when it's automated. Remove emotion, and let systems handle your discipline. Set up automatic transfers into investment accounts, savings portfolios, retirement funds. This ensures your money grows even when you're busy or distracted. It also protects you from emotional spending and impulsive decisions. Wealth is built in systems, not moments. The freedom phase. When your money begins working for you, everything changes. You wake up and realize that you no longer chase. You choose. You have time to think, create, rest, and live with intention. You're not rich because you have more. You're rich because you need less, and own systems that provide more than enough. That's true financial freedom. Money no longer decides for you. You decide for it. Final reflection. The 4 rules of financial freedom form a complete foundation for lasting wealth. Earn wisely. Build skills and income streams. Save intentionally. Keep what you earn with discipline. Control spending. Spend consciously, not emotionally. Make money work for you. Build assets that earn while you rest. Follow these rules consistently, and your financial life will transform from chaos to control, from stress to stability, from survival to freedom. Remember, freedom is not a dream, it's a decision, built through daily discipline. Part 5. The Wealth Mindset. Thinking like the financially free. Financial freedom begins in the mind long before it appears in your bank account. You can't build wealth with the same thinking that created financial fortune. This is why the wealthy and the struggling live in the same world, but experience it entirely differently, because they interpret money through different beliefs, habits, and expectations. This part of the 4 rules of financial freedom is about mastering the mindset that makes wealth not just possible but inevitable. You're about to see that your thoughts about money shape your results far more than any investment or job ever could. The invisible barrier. The way you think about money. Most people never become wealthy not because they don't have opportunity but because they're mentally wired to stay average. They've been taught ideas like money is the root of all evil. Rich people are greedy. It's impossible to get ahead unless you're lucky. These are beliefs, not facts, and they become self-fulfilling. If you believe money is evil, you'll unconsciously avoid it. If you believe wealth is unfair, you'll sabotage your ability to create it. Financially free people think differently. They believe money is a tool for freedom and impact. Wealth amplifies who I already am. Before you can build wealth, you must destroy the limiting beliefs that make you feel unworthy of it. The shift from consumer to creator. The majority of people operate with a consumer mindset. They see money as something to spend, enjoy, or show off. They measure success by what they own instead of what they produce. The wealthy, however, live with a creator mindset. They see money as a resource to build systems, create value, and multiply opportunities. Their focus is on what they can generate, not what they can consume. When you become a creator, you stop asking, "What can I buy with this money?" and start asking, "How can this money work for me?" That single question changes the entire direction of your financial life. Playing the long game. Financial freedom requires patience and delayed gratification. Instant pleasure is the enemy of lasting wealth. Every impulsive purchase, every unnecessary upgrade, Every moment of financial impatience steals from your future freedom. Wealthy people play a long-term game. They invest time and money into systems that pay off years later. They understand that the price of freedom is discipline today. Here's a powerful truth. Most people quit because they can't wait a few years for results, but the wealthy wait a few years so they can live without limits for life. Every decision you make either compounds your freedom or your frustration. Play the long game, because that's where exponential growth happens. The power of financial focus. One of the defining traits of financially free people is focus. They choose one direction and master it. They don't chase every new business idea, stock trend, or side hustle they see online. They pick a clear path, a skill, an investment, a business, and they commit to mastering it over time. Focus creates results. Distraction destroys them. The rich are not smarter than everyone else. They're simply more focused on what matters. If you want to accelerate your path to freedom, stop spreading your energy thin. Build deep roots in one direction. Detach emotion from money. Money is emotional, but successful investors learn to separate feeling from decision. The market will rise and fall. Opportunities will come and go, but emotions, fear, greed, excitement, destroy more wealth than bad luck ever could. The wealthy don't chase feelings. They follow principles. They know that calm decision-making produces consistent growth. You must train yourself to pause before reacting. When you feel the urge to spend impulsively or panic sell an investment, stop. Ask yourself, am I making this decision based on emotion or logic? This simple awareness can protect you from years of financial regret. Environment, the silent shaper of wealth. Look around. Who do you spend most of your time with? Your environment quietly determines your financial ceiling. If you're surrounded by people who complain, overspend, and avoid responsibility, you'll absorb their habit. The wealthy intentionally choose environments that elevate their mindset. They seek out people who challenge them, inspire discipline, and celebrate growth. You cannot change your financial reality without changing the conversations you have daily. Part 6. The power of multiple income streams. How the wealthy build true security. If there's one truth that separates the rich from the rest, it's this: they never depend on one source of income. Financial freedom doesn't come from earning a paycheck. It comes from building systems that pay you even when you're not working. While most people rely on one fragile source, a job, a client, or a business, the wealthy create multiple streams that protect them from risk and multiply their growth. This part will show you exactly how that mindset works and how you can begin creating your own freedom flows, starting today. The danger of a single source. Think about it. If your income comes from one job, what happens if that job disappears? One economic shift, one new policy, or one bad decision from someone above you can wipe out your entire income overnight. That's not security. That's financial fragility disguised as stability. We've been taught to think stability means having one steady job, but the wealthy know the truth. Stability comes from diversification. If one stream dries up, others keep flowing. Financial freedom begins when you realize your income should have layers, not limits. The 4 core income types. To understand wealth, you must understand how income is created. Every source of money you ever earn fits into one of these 4 categories. Earned income, money you make by trading time or skills for pay. A job, freelancing, or a business you actively run. Passive income, money that continues to flow with little ongoing effort. Investments, royalties, automated systems. The financially free aim to shift their focus from earned to passive, portfolio, and residual over time. That shift is the essence of escaping the paycheck trap. Building the first stream. Strengthen what you already have. Before you create new streams, you must stabilize your first one. That's your foundation, your main skill, career, or business. Many people try to jump into multiple ventures before mastering one, spreading their energy too thin. But every wealthy person started by building one strong, consistent source first. Ask yourself, am I maximizing what I currently do? Can I increase my value, charge more, or improve efficiency? Is my main income source reliable enough to fund new opportunities? You can't multiply instability, you must first strengthen it. The second stream, automate and multiply. Once your foundation is solid, The next step is automation. Automate savings, automate investments, automate side systems that earn while you sleep. This is where you move from working for money to building systems that work for you. It might be an automated online business, a rental property with a manager, a dividend-paying investment, a digital product that sells itself. Automation is freedom. Every automated dollar brings you closer to independence because it frees your time and your energy to focus on higher value pursuits. The third stream, turn knowledge into income. One of the most underused wealth principles is monetizing knowledge. You already know things that others are willing to pay to learn. The rich understand this. They don't just sell time. They sell wisdom, insight, and systems. You could teach, consult, create digital content, or license your ideas. It's not about becoming famous. It's about becoming valuable. When your ideas earn income, your time becomes scalable. You stop working harder and start working smarter. The fourth stream, money that works harder than you do. Your ultimate goal is to make your money replace your effort. That's the transition from active work to investment income. Wealthy people understand the compounding effect, how small, consistent investments grow exponentially over time. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They start early, automate contributions, and let time do the heavy lifting. Your money should never sit idle. Even small investments in index funds, ETFs, or property can evolve into major income over the years. Remember, your job is to earn money. Your investments are to make that money multiply. The snowball effect of wealth. At first, building multiple streams feels slow, but over time, something powerful happens. Momentum. Each stream feeds the next. The income from one investment funds another. Your cash flow multiplies, and your dependence on any single source disappears. That's when financial peace begins. When your system can sustain itself. The wealthy don't hustle forever. They build frameworks that compound automatically. Your goal is not to stay busy. It's to build a system that works while you rest. Practical starting points for you. Here's how you can begin today. Identify your strongest skill or income source. Strengthen it. Save and automate at least 10 times your earnings toward future investments. Research one new passive or residual income idea each month. Start small. Consistency beats perfection. Reinvest profits into systems that save time or multiply returns. Financial freedom is not built overnight. It's built over years of consistent, intelligent action. Every dollar you put to work today is buying you time tomorrow, and every stream you build is one step closer to never worrying about money again. Part 7. The Law of Intentional Living. Spending with purpose, not emotion. True financial freedom isn't just about how much you earn. It's about how intentionally you use what you earn. Most people spend reactively. They buy because they're bored, stressed, or influenced by what others have. They spend to fill emotional gaps instead of strategic goals, and that's why they stay stuck, no matter how much money passes through their hands. Wealth, on the other hand, is built by people who spend with awareness. They understand that every dollar has a purpose. Every purchase is a decision, and every decision shapes their future. This part will teach you how to take control of your spending habits, not by restriction, but by intentionality. Why emotional spending is a silent wealth killer. Financial destruction doesn't come from one big mistake. It comes from 1,000 small emotional decisions. You see it every day. People upgrade phones that work perfectly fine. They buy clothes for validation, not necessity. They eat out for comfort, not hunger. They chase sales for the dopamine rush, not because they need anything. These are emotional choices, not logical ones. They give temporary pleasure, but cause long-term pressure. The rich aren't immune to temptation. They've just learned to control it. They've built a habit of asking themselves before every purchase, is this helping me move toward freedom or away from it? That one question alone can change your entire financial future. Purpose over impulse. Intentional living begins when you stop asking, can I afford this? And start asking, does this align with my goals? When your decisions align with your values, you gain control. You stop feeling deprived because your spending now has meaning. For example, you stop mindlessly buying coffee every day, and instead invest that money in a skill that earns more. You delay buying a car to fund a side business that pays for multiple cars later. You spend on experiences that build character, not just convenience. Every time you choose purpose over impulse, you expand your financial future. Designing a purpose-driven money flow. The wealthy live by design, not default. Their money moves strategically. Every dollar has a role. Here's how you can apply the same structure. Essentials 50%. Housing, food, transport and basic needs. Freedom fund 20%. Savings, investments, and business capital. Growth 10%. Education, courses or skills that increase your earning power. Experiences 10%. Things that genuinely add joy or meaning. Giving 10%. Causes that align with your purpose and values. This framework ensures that you're not just spending, you're building. You're nurturing both your financial health and your emotional fulfillment. Detach status from spending. One of the greatest traps in modern society is status spending. We buy things we don't need, with money we don't have, to impress people who don't care. The wealthy understand that confidence doesn't come from possessions. It comes from options, and financial options come from discipline. Every time you choose to live below your means, you're saying, I value freedom over appearance. Minimalism isn't deprivation, it's choosing clarity over clutter. It's the quiet confidence of knowing you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Money reflects your mindset. Look at your bank statement. It's not just a list of transactions, it's a mirror of your values. Where your money goes shows what you prioritize. If most of it goes to entertainment, convenience and comfort, your growth will be limited. If it goes toward assets, learning and long-term goals, your life will transform. You can't create abundance with a scarcity mindset, and you can't become wealthy if you keep spending like you're trying to escape your own reality. Intentional living isn't about being cheap, it's about being conscious. Build systems, not restrictions. Budgeting doesn't work when it feels like punishment. Instead, you need systems that make good behavior automatic. Try these. Set up automatic transfers to your investment account the moment you get paid. Keep a fund for guilt-free spending. This removes the urge to splurge impulsively. Use digital tools that track spending and show you where money leaks occur. Audit subscriptions every 60 days. Cancel anything you don't actively use. You don't need willpower if you have systems. Financial discipline becomes effortless when it's built into your environment. The joy of saying no. There's power in restraint. Every no to an unnecessary expense is a yes to a greater goal. Every delayed purchase strengthens your mental toughness. We often associate no with limitation, but in reality, saying no is what gives yes its meaning. You start to value what truly matters, because you no longer clutter your life with what doesn't. Financial minimalism and intentional spending lead to something rare in today's world: peace of mind. Freedom through conscious choices. Here's the truth. Wealth isn't built on how much you make. It's built on how wisely you decide. Every financial decision is a vote for the person you're becoming. When you spend intentionally, you build confidence. When you live below your means, you build control. When you invest in your growth instead of your image, you build power. That's what financial freedom really is. Not the absence of limits, but the presence of purpose. And when your money starts serving your goals instead of your emotions, you're no longer working for money. Your money is working for you. Rule 4. Leverage money to buy time and freedom. Money, when used wisely, is not meant to trap you in endless cycles of work. It's meant to liberate you. The final rule of financial freedom is to make your money work so effectively that it buys you back your most valuable asset, time. Because time, not cash, is the true currency of wealth. People often make money but remain broke in freedom. They have investments, assets, and possessions but no control over their days. True freedom begins when your income continues whether you wake up early or not. When your financial systems work independently of your constant effort. This is the difference between the self-employed and the truly free. The freedom equation. Financial freedom, passive income, living expenses. That's the golden rule. When your passive income surpasses your monthly needs, you are officially free from financial dependence. Passive income doesn't have to be a complicated system. It can be rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, online products, royalties, or a small automated business. The key is consistency and sustainability, not risk or flash. If you make $5,000 per month and your lifestyle requires $3,000, that $2,000 gap becomes your freedom fund. The goal is to expand this gap, not through greed, but through intelligent systems that grow without draining your energy. The power of systems. Systems are the invisible engines behind financial independence. Every wealthy individual relies on them. They don't rely on willpower, they rely on design. Automate your savings, automate your investments, automate your payment, automate everything that does not require your creativity. This not only eliminates decision fatigue, but ensures your money grows without emotional interference. You'll no longer be swayed by impulses or panic decisions. When you set systems, your wealth evolves on autopilot. Buy time before you buy things. Every purchase should be viewed through one question: does this buy me more freedom or more dependence? A car might look impressive, but if it adds years of debt, it's not wealth, it's bondage. A simple investment that compounds quietly, however, might buy you an entire decade of free time later. The wise buy assets, the impulsive buy distractions. Every dollar has a job. Some should work, some should rest in reserves, and some should serve you directly. But no dollar should be wasted in vanity. Your freedom ladder. To visualize this, imagine a ladder with 4 rungs: survival, earning just enough in life; stability, saving and controlling expenses; growth, investing and building passive streams; freedom, living entirely off systems and investments. Each step requires discipline, delayed gratification, and long-term vision. You cannot skip the rungs. Each prepares you for the next. The tragedy is that many stop at stability. They settle for comfort, thinking it's safety. But comfort without freedom is just a prettier cage. Design a life you don't need to escape from. Money should give you the option to design your ideal day, the freedom to say no, the ability to live where you want, work how you want, and spend time with who you want. Financial freedom isn't about quitting, it's about choosing. When your money creates time, you gain control. When your time aligns with your purpose, you gain peace. And that peace, not the number in your account, is the highest form of wealth. Daily wealth habit. Every day, do one thing that moves you closer to financial freedom. Read about investing, automate a small saving, track an expense, study a financial concept. The compound effect of daily financial intelligence will quietly transform your future. Remember, the rich don't get rich by accident. They get rich by design. Coming up next, how to stay free once you achieve wealth, and how to protect your financial independence from self-sabotage and bad habits. Protecting your freedom, the discipline of sustaining wealth. Reaching financial freedom is a milestone, but keeping it is mastery. Most people don't lose money because of bad investments. They lose it because they forget the principles that built it. When comfort replaces hunger, focus fades. The mindset that builds wealth must be preserved long after wealth arrives. This part is not about earning more, it's about guarding the freedom you've already earned. Freedom without protection is just a temporary illusion. Protect your mind from lifestyle inflation. When your income grows, your ego whispers, "You've earned it, upgrade everything." That voice has destroyed more fortunes than recessions ever did. Lifestyle inflation happens when your spending rises to match your income, and suddenly you're no freer than when you started. The goal of freedom is not to have more stuff, it's to have more space. Space to think, space to rest, space to live on your terms. The wealthy maintain modesty long after success because they understand that freedom depends on how little you need, not how much you make. The smaller your lifestyle requirements, the more powerful your freedom becomes. 2. Build a fortress, not a castle. Castles are beautiful but fragile. They demand constant maintenance. Fortresses are solid, functional, and built to withstand storms. Build your finances like a fortress. Keep emergency funds. Diversify your income sources. Own insurance that protects your peace of mind. Avoid liabilities that drain energy and focus. A castle impresses people. A fortress protects you. Never confuse the two. Reinvest in what built you. When people achieve financial success, they often drift away from the disciplines that got them there. Learning, consistency, patience. They think freedom means they've arrived. But real freedom is a lifelong system of renewal. Keep reading. Keep studying. Keep upgrading your knowledge about money, psychology, and opportunity. The same curiosity that started your journey must sustain it. The wealthiest people in the world don't just invest in businesses, they invest in staying sharp. 4. Stay liquid, stay ready. Opportunities don't announce themselves. They appear suddenly during crisis, chaos, or quiet moments when everyone else is distracted. To seize them, you must remain liquid. Never have all your wealth locked in things you can't touch. Liquidity gives you flexibility. Flexibility gives you speed. And speed in the world of wealth creates advantage. The ones who grow exponentially are those who can act immediately when a door opens, because they prepared while others were comfortable. 5. The emotional side of freedom. Money changes your external world, but freedom challenges your internal world. You'll face questions like, hey, who am I without financial struggle? What drives me now that survival isn't the goal? How do I stay grounded when comfort surrounds me? These questions require emotional maturity. Without purpose, wealth becomes a void. That's why every true investor reinvests, not only financially, but spiritually and mentally. They find new mountains to climb, not for status, but for self-respect. 6. Generosity as a wealth multiplier. The final phase of sustaining wealth is giving, not because of guilt, but because generosity keeps your soul aligned with abundance. When you give time, knowledge, or resources wisely, you expand the energy of your wealth. Selfishness contracts wealth. Gratitude expands it. Money that circulates with purpose multiplies. Money that is hoarded from fear stagnates. You don't lose by giving. You strengthen your identity as someone who has enough. And that belief will keep attracting more. 7. Never outsource responsibility. Even with advisors, mentors, and accountants, never stop being the CEO of your money. Understand where your cash flows. Know what you own and why. Read every contract you sign. Ignorance is expensive. Attention is free. The moment you hand over full control, you hand over your future. The financially free remain personally involved, not micromanaging, but understanding enough to make intelligent decisions. 8. The quiet life of the truly wealthy. The ones who have mastered freedom don't flaunt it. They live quietly, move strategically, and let results speak louder than displays. They've learned that attention attracts envy, and envy invites interference. The goal isn't to be seen as successful, it's to be peaceful and secure. Freedom feels best when it's quiet. The maintenance of freedom. Sustaining financial freedom requires the same qualities that built it. Discipline in spending, patience in growth, courage in decision-making, humility in success. The game never ends. It just evolves. You don't retire from financial awareness. You master it until it becomes instinct. Coming up next, the final part, how to build a lasting financial legacy, so your freedom extends beyond you and becomes a system for the next generation. The legacy of freedom. Building wealth that outlives you. Financial freedom is not just about escaping survival, it's about building significance. The journey doesn't end when you're debt-free or when your investments pay for your lifestyle. True freedom continues when what you've built becomes a foundation for others. Your family, your community, and even the world. This final part is about legacy, about turning freedom into a force that outlives your lifespan. The rich don't just make money. They create systems that continue producing wealth long after they're gone. One shift from income to impact. When you first start, the goal is simple. Earn more. Then it becomes save more. Eventually it evolves into impact more. That's the ultimate evolution of wealth, when money becomes a tool for meaning. The wealthy know that once you've achieved personal security, the next level is influence, shaping lives, industries, and futures. So, ask yourself, what is my money doing for others? If your money doesn't serve a purpose beyond consumption, it will slowly lose its power. But if it fuels change, growth, and opportunity, it becomes immortal. 2. Teach the next generation early. Wealth that isn't understood will always be lost. That's why generational wealth isn't about inheritance. It's about education. Don't just leave your children money. Leave them the mindset that built it. Teach them how to make decisions under pressure, how to manage money with discipline, how to delay gratification for long-term gain. Write down your principles, tell your stories, share your mistakes. That's how wealth endures. A mindset passed down is worth more than any sum deposited. Build systems, not dependence. If your wealth requires your daily attention to survive, it's not freedom. It's another job. The rich design systems that work without them. Automated investments, efficient teams, diversified portfolios, and passive income streams that sustain their families long-term. Don't build a life where your loved ones need you to survive financially. Build one where they can thrive because of the systems you've created. That's true financial security. Independence passed on, not dependence disguised as inheritance. Use trust structures, estate plans, insurance, and solid legal advice to ensure that what you've built remains intact. But beyond paperwork, protect your wealth from poor decision-making. The easiest way to lose a legacy is to assume it's permanent. Review it often. Adapt it to change. Guard it from those who see it as an easy gain. Freedom without protection is fragile. Freedom with strategy becomes timeless. 5. Give with purpose, not pity. Philanthropy is not charity. It's strategic giving. Don't just give to feel good. Give to empower. Support causes that align with your principles. Education, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, sustainability. The things that build independence, not dependency. Every dollar you release with intention becomes an investment in human progress. Generosity is how freedom multiplies beyond the self. 6. Redefine what rich means. The world defines wealth by possessions. The free define it by peace. When your time is your own, your thoughts are clear, and your relationships are strong, you're already wealthy. Money amplifies who you are, not replaces what you lack. Freedom is not the absence of work. It's the presence of choice. You work because you want to, not because you have to. You give because it fulfills you, not because it impresses others. That is real richness, not measured by numbers, but by meaning. 7. The eternal game of mastery. Financial freedom isn't a destination. It's an eternal discipline. Even at the highest level, the wealthy review their budgets, study markets, and refine their systems. They play the game like grandmasters, patient, intentional, always learning. If you stop evolving, the system collapses. If you keep learning, your freedom compounds. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress without pause. Pass down the philosophy, not just the profit. Write a family creed. Create a wealth philosophy document. Record your journey. Leave behind a manual for living, not just a balance sheet. When future generations can trace their success back to your wisdom, that's immortality. Money fades, philosophy endures. Be the ancestor who taught discipline, gratitude, and courage, not just the one who left money in the bank. 9. The 4 rules remembered. Let's bring it all together. Rule 1. Spend less than you earn. Control your impulses. Freedom starts with discipline. Rule 2. Invest consistently and wisely. Make your money serve you every day, even while you sleep. Rule 3. Protect your wealth from decay. Avoid unnecessary risks. Guard your freedom from erosion. Rule 4. Use money to build meaning. Let your wealth create peace, impact, and purpose, not just status. Follow these rules, and you'll not only earn freedom, you'll keep it for life. The final lesson. Freedom is a responsibility. You are now the steward of something greater than money, the power to live deliberately. Every decision you make from here should honor the time, energy, and sacrifices that brought you this far. The world doesn't need more people chasing wealth. It needs more people who use wealth wisely. So live simply, think abundantly, act intentionally, and remember, Financial freedom isn't about escaping the system. It's about mastering yourself within it. The 4 Rules of Financial Freedom, written and published by Mindset Masters. Audiobooks, a complete guide to building wealth, sustaining it and passing it on with purpose.